Dude, the person who created The Boys TV show and the comics has to be some kind of a messed up person, dude. I genuinely cannot believe that a sane person would create such horrific and disturbing shit. So recently I made the terrible decision of watching The Boys, and within about the first 6 minutes, I remembered exactly why normal people don't do that. Because, most of the TV shows want you to relax. And that's why I wanted to watch The Boys. I mean, I hadn't watched the trailer or anything. I know, stupid me. The Boys actually wants to test your cardiovascular system. Every episode feels like the writers gathered around the table and asked themselves, what's the worst idea that they have ever had? And then somebody said, what if we actually filmed it? And somehow nobody stopped them. I don't know how the higher ups at Amazon Prime Video vibe, but I wouldn't have allowed this shit if I was the higher up. Nobody stopped them from filming this shit, and that's the part that scares me. Not the superheroes, to be honest. The fact that an entire production looked at the scripts and went, yep, looks good. Let's spend millions of dollars making this. If you have never seen The Boys, let me explain. Imagine if superheroes were real. Now remove morality, remove self-control, remove common sense, remove HR, remove consequences, remove supervision. Yeah, you have to remove even the clothes, by the way, and then give them corporate sponsorships. That's basically the show. It's less Justice League and more public relations nightmare. The first thing we need to discuss is Vought, because Vought might genuinely be the most evil company ever created. And what's funny is that they are not cartoon evil, they are corporate evil, which is somehow worse. A superhero could accidentally destroy an entire city block, and Vought wouldn't ask, how do we stop this? They would ask, can we put this on a hoodie? And they would literally start selling merchandise about this. That's how evil they are. These people don't solve problems, they monetize them. A disaster happens and within 15 minutes, they have already launched merchandise. The entire company feels like a marketing department possessed by a demon. Every meeting probably starts with, good morning everyone, how can we profit from human suffering today? That's how evil this company is, dude. I'm going to talk about them more later, but then we have Homelander. And brother, what exactly is this man? I've never seen a character radiate danger simply by existing. Every time he's on screen, I just stop breathing. Not because something is happening, because something might happen. And somehow that's just so worse. Most villains have goals, plans, motivations, strategies. Homelander has moods, and that's significantly more terrifying. Imagine Superman, now remove empathy, add narcissism, insecurity, unlimited power, and mommy issues, by the way. A lot of mommy issues, and also some infatuation towards milk. A lot of milk. Add emotional regulation of a 12-year-old losing a Fortnite match. Congratulations, you have Homelander. This man, he's balancing on a psychological tightrope over an active volcano. I would refuse to live with this man on the same planet, by the way. That's how dangerous this guy is. You cannot disagree. Every conversation feels like diffusing a bomb designed by somebody who hates you personally. You cannot disagree. You can't agree too enthusiastically. You cannot joke. You cannot stay serious. You cannot blink. You cannot stand weird. At that point, just leave, dude. Actually, don't leave. That might offend him too. He would just kill you. He would obliterate you. And the smile, dear God, the smile. Superman smiles and you're inspired. Captain America smiles and you're reassured, Homelander smiles and I start writing my will. I know I'm going to die, dude. Nothing good has ever happened after that smile. The man smiles like he already knows the bad ending. Every scene starts with, maybe he's calm today, and then he smiles, and suddenly the entire atmosphere changes. It's like watching a shark discover Wi-Fi. The craziest part is that every season Homelander somehow becomes more unstable, which should be impossible. I mean, how can a person like Homelander become worse? I just don't know how that happens. It was already entirely on fire and you want to put it on fire more. How does that work? Every season the writers somehow unlock a new expansion pack for his insanity. At this point his mental health graph looks like a roller coaster designed by a supervillain. Then we talk about the deep, this guy is supposed to be the Aquaman or the parody, I don't know. Possibly the dumbest superhero ever. Not the weakest, not most useless, but just dumbest, Honestly impressive because his power is actually incredible. The ability to communicate with sea life, that's insane. You could map unexplored oceans, discover ancient shipwreck, advance marine biology, solve scientific mysteries, a lot, You can change humanity's understanding of this planet. What does the deep do? The worst available option. Every single time. Without fail. It's almost mathematical, If there are 10 decisions available, this man will locate the 11th one somehow. His survival alone disproves several laws of probability. Every appearance becomes a science experiment. And by the way, this guy is done so bad by Homelander. He had an octopus, his pet. I would not go in the direction. I would not explain you what he did to his octopus, by the way. That's some nasty stuff. You just figure it out on your own. But he liked that octopus. Homelander literally made him eat that octopus, dude. Homelander is just on another level, but the deep is not good. And don't even get me started on the sea creatures. Every aquatic animal that encounters the deep immediately experiences emotional damage. At this point, if I were a dolphin and I saw him approaching, I'd simply evolve legs. I'm leaving. The ocean isn't safe anymore. Then we have A-Train. He's supposed to be the fastest person, a character whose entire life can be summarized by just one sentence: I can fix this. No, you can't. Every attempt to solve a problem somehow creates 3 new ones. I've never seen somebody generate consequences with this level of efficiency. Most people make mistakes. A-Train manufactures them industrially. We have this main character called Huey. He was standing with his girlfriend in a place, just, being romantic with her. And this guy literally comes out of nowhere at supersonic speed and just crashes into her, and all that is left is both of her arms in Yui's arms, nothing else. She's obliterated in a few milliseconds. That's how fast he was when he hit her. I mean, I just cannot just fathom how irresponsible and stupid this guy is. But yeah, and then we come to the boys crew, the person whom you can call the second hero of this series, Billy Butcher, a man powered entirely by spite against Homelander. And all the soups are basically the superheroes in this universe. Everybody else in the show has emotions: fear, hope, love, compassion. Butcher has one setting: anger. The man wakes up angry, brushes his teeth angry, makes coffee angry, breathes aggressively, by the way, and his accent is the worst. You can literally watch some of his clips speaking and you would genuinely not understand a word he's trying to say. Every scene feels like he's just 30 seconds away from committing a federal crime, and somehow he's one of the more reasonable people in this universe. And also Homelander does bad shit to everybody, and what he did to this guy is basically did the nasty stuff with his wife and got her killed. So that's really, really nasty stuff, dude. That's another thing. Nobody in this show is normal, by the way. Absolutely nobody. You meet a character and think, finally, a functioning adult. 3 episodes later, they are committing blackmail, hiding crimes, taking experimental substances, or causing international incidents. The success rate for emotionally healthy individuals in this universe is approximately 0. Therapists would literally quit after one session with these people. Then we arrive at Compound V. This is basically what gives them powers. What if steroids became a horror movie? That's what Compound V is. Why humanity should never get powers. As kids, we all imagined being superheroes, flying, saving lives, or helping people, protecting cities. The writers of The Boys looked at that fantasy and said, what if everyone used powers irresponsibly? And honestly, they're probably right. Give the average person laser vision and somebody's microwave is getting destroyed within 24 hours. And then we reach the legendary point of no return: Herogasm. Now, if you have never watched the show, I genuinely cannot explain this episode. I physically cannot. Every explanation sounds fake. Every single one. You start describing it and immediately sound guilty. People assume you're lying or hallucinating or both. The fact that this episode exists means somewhere in the world there was an executive meeting, actual professionals attended it, people with careers, mortgages, business cards. The writers explained this episode in detail. Those executives listened it, nodded, reviewed the budget, reviewed the script, and then said approve. Nobody called security, authorities, or a wellness check. Human civilization literally failed that day. The thing about The Boys is that it never stops escalating. Normal shows have limit, not this one. Every season treats restraint like a personal enemy. Season 1 does nothing insane. Season 2 responds, that's adorable. Season 3 kicks down the door. Season 4 arrives carrying a flamethrower and several unresolved issues. And Season 5 just dropped. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it after this video, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be more insane than the rest of those 4 seasons. Every year the writers just gather together and attempt to outdo themselves, which is terrifying because they're succeeding. But underneath all the insanity is the reason why the show actually works: the satire. Because to be honest, the scary part isn't the powers, it's how believable everything feels. If superheroes existed tomorrow, there would absolutely be corporations, there absolutely would be sponsorships, there would be social media drama, and there would be a lot of apology videos. Some superhero would accidentally destroy half a neighborhood and immediately post, I've taken time to reflect and grow from this experience. No, you haven't. That building is still smoking, dude. That's why the show sticks with people, I think, because it's just ridiculous, absurd, completely unhinged, yet somehow it feels weirdly plausible. Not the laser eyes, but the people. The people feel real and also very disturbing, by the way, because deep down everybody watching this show knows that at least one person who would become Homelander if given enough power, and that's horrifying. So yeah, The Boys might be the most chaotic and brain damage causing television show ever produced. Vought needs investigations and Homelander needs to be a planet away from me, but that asshole might just fly to my planet because he's so powerful. I mean, I would never live on the same planet with that guy, like I said. But here's the worst part. The second the new season drop, we are all coming back, because after everything this show has done, after every insane episode, after every moment that made me question reality, I still need to know what happens next. And unfortunately, that's exactly how they get you. So all I'll have to say is, if you are mentally not strong, please don't watch that show. I will try to finish it this week, but I don't guarantee anything because I might just lose my mind. So that's it. And in conclusion, subscribe please.